Hello, it's Andy Graham of Hobo Traveler, and I have an online business. I've been in business for 12 years. My website is hoboontheroad.com. I wanted to talk today about I basically was thinking of my poor mother. I think of everybody that really, right now they're talking about this SOPA, S.O.P.A, an acronym that means Stop Online Piracy Act. And then people are going to instantly jump into this conversation about censorship on the internet. Okay. For all of us that really are not involved in this, which is not me, I'm actually involved, I'm sure my mother sits there and goes, what are they talking about? This is crazy. Because what they do is they talk from an assumption that you already understand it. So this is kind of a little bit of a conversation explaining the pros and cons in a way that the average layman might be able to get a clearer picture. Okay, I'm a guy that has written over 6,000 blog posts. Each one of these blog posts is automatically copyrighted as soon as I write it. That means that it's considered copyrighted the second you do it. That means that a person cannot copy the whole thing and paste it into another website then try to make money from it. Now there's some exceptions, like universities can use this stuff for free in a way, but generally people cannot copy and paste. So it's kind of irritating when somebody just copies and pastes my whole article. They call them scrapers. So there's websites that actually scrape my whole website then create a new one, and then hopefully they try to do it better than me and then make the money and I don't. Okay, so I'm constantly dealing with this kind of problem. Google shows you my photo but doesn't show you a way to get to my website. I think it's a copyright violation in my opinion. Okay, but right now the government's still in its infancy. I mean the internet is still in its infancy. Okay, so what happens is, let's talk about this. Do I have a right as an individual to write a book, take a photo, and sell it? If I go to, there's different things that cost different production. Like this video's, the reason why I don't do all this editing is because I can't make enough money, right? Even if I could, I'm fighting YouTube and all these things. I just make the video and sort of explain things. Okay. If I take a photo, how do I force somebody to pay? Now, obviously, as soon as I put it on the internet, if you understand the internet, you just right-click on a photo and you can probably save all the photos and put it. And actually, people believe because they can do this that it's their photo. Okay. I will tell you right now, Getty Photos has a thing that's scouring the internet, and two of my friends have paid $4,000 on big websites to Getty Photos for copyright infringement by just right-clicking on a photo of Getty and putting it on their website. Now, they're not your photo, and this is a person that took and went to, like if I go to Africa, I pay $2,000 to get there round trip or something. I take a photo of something special. Do I have a right to do it? I had some photos from Haiti where there's this little girl that they wanted to make into a sex slave. She was not a sex slave. She was a nice little girl. I was really irritated because the nonprofits want me to give her the photo and even then make her something she isn't. Okay, all these things has down to the question is, do I, as the individual, have the right to make money from my product? Now, they're going to talk about the movie theaters and all these guys, and they're going to talk about it, but at the end of the day, the value of the United States Constitution is that it can protect the individual against the group. Okay? And to me, this is the thing. So, the question you first ask, I think, is, since before we talk about censorship, Stop Online Piracy Act, do I have a right to make things? And then, do I have to go to unlimited ways to stop the people that steal my stuff? And is there a mechanism right now to stop these guys from stealing my stuff? I truly don't believe there is. If I write a book right now, which I'm in the process of finishing, if I put it on, Kindle, they can instantly convert it to a file, stick it on a torrent, and everybody can download it. So temptation is only to issue it in a paperback book. That way they can't steal it, because travelers steal. Okay. What this SOPA, Stop Online thing is, they're selling kind of this fear. Now the great thing about this is all going to take forever to process, and they're going to have, and they probably already have, ways to censor the internet. They have ways to shut it down and all this stuff. Because they need to, because it's a communication thing that circumvents certain things. Now the bad part is, you know, people are acting like, you know, it's you against me. It's, you know, what we want to do is we want to stop. If the government wants to stop a child porn site, do they have the right? I would say, according to Wikipedia and all these guys, they don't have the right. According to all these big organizations that are against this bill, they don't have a right to do this. Everybody wants freedom of speech. Freedom of speech doesn't mean that you can incite a riot. Freedom of speech doesn't mean that you have the right to interfere in my life. I have the right to the pursuit of happiness. You don't have a right to invade my world. Okay, so there's limits on freedom of speech. Freedom of speech means you talk to the world, but you don't have to be you can't force another person to listen. Okay. Let me explain how an article is written on the internet. And this is why Wikipedia is really kind of angry. And okay, when you write an article, what you do is you go out and you maybe look at 40 other articles or 10 articles, or just come up with an opinion and write it. But a really good writer is probably going to go read for a couple hours, then they're going to come up with an opinion, and they're going to take all those things that they do. Now, if I wanted to write a Wikipedia article, what I would do is I would go to Britannica, World Book, and I would basically copy all their stuff, and then all I got to do is rewrite it, rephrase it in a way that is not 100% exactly, and I broke the copyright. Now, this is the way the internet works, and you know, this is the way Wikipedia works. And so what they do is somebody goes and reads all these things, and then they may cite this thing or they reference it, but they basically stole all their stuff completely, then synthesized it right into Wikipedia. Now, Wikipedia steals a lot of stuff, so they're really afraid, because I was in Frankfurt at their Wikipedia convention. I was actually in a meeting where they were conspiring to explain how to bypass copyright laws. I mean, I was like wanting to be their lawyer and say, hey guys, stop talking right now. Because it was quite obvious to me they were conspiring. Conspiring is in essence a lot what this bill has to do with. Okay, right now you have all these torrent sites that you can download movies, like Pirates Bay and all these things like that. Conspiring and helping somebody to steal something. In legal things, if you're committing premeditated murder, a person that conspires with you to do it is just as guilty as the person that actually does it. So in a way, when Google, in a legal sense, assist me in finding Pirate Bay stuff, they are assisting me in breaking the law. So, you know, that is kind of the conspiracy thing that's going on. Now, you know, companies like Google can make a lot of money off of this. A little company like me can't. Okay, so paraphrasing is what we do. So the question back again, do I have a right to write something? Is there a way that I should be able to sort of bring lawsuit against that person and stop them? I mean, right now it's not possible, really, and the really big offenders are, you know, just impossible to stop, right? Because they're in other countries and things like that. So this, in a way, is trying to stop websites. I think. Now, I'm going to put on the website a link to the actual bill. So, because I think all these guys are talking about this crazy shit. It's a summary. Well, that's not true. I'm going to put a link to a summary of the bill. That way, you can feel like you're elevated yourself up a little higher. I read the bill, the summary, okay, and it's going to go through all these processes where it goes changes. It maybe take 2 or 3 years before there's actually something, or maybe there's next month. Who knows? I doubt it. But public consensus is not what we should be worried about. It's what is right, justice. Okay, I'm going to give you an example though of how I could sell something that would be incredibly valuable to you, the reader. I'm a travel website. Okay. I know where I downloaded, well, that's not true. I know where I can download all the Lonely Planet guidebooks in digital format for the whole world. If you download one chapter from Lonely Planet, it costs you $4. I probably think there's probably, I don't know, maybe $8,000 worth of, no, I don't know, there's a lot. Let's say there's 100 countries, and 100 times 10, so 10 times 100, 100 times 10 times 100 times $4. So that's 1,000 times 4, it's $4,000, $5,000. $5,000 worth of value. Now this is really valuable to a world traveler because they can go from place to place to place and not have to buy the guidebook but still have the information. I could put this inside a membership area and allow my members to download it. Now, I don't know, is that just like a library? Am I just putting it inside the library? Is it a library? I don't understand how a library gives me a book and loans me a book. It seems a little bit on the weird side. But I could put copyrighted material and give you a workaround. Now, is that a conspiracy to break the law? Think about it. Now these are the problems that nobody wants to be held liable for what they do. They want to basically say freedom of speech and blah blah blah. At the other side is everybody that's really angry is benefiting highly here. So at the end of this thing, all it is a bill that's going through a bunch of stuff. Mom, don't worry about it. It's going to be talking about it for the next year. Everybody's going to sell you oh, it's scary, big government's going to take over, they're going to shut down the internet, blah blah blah. The government don't work that fast, and even if they did, I'm not sure they're smart enough to close down all the really little websites. And if you shut down Wikipedia, obviously the public would revolt. But this is going to take a long time, and really it's just a bunch of noise by a bunch of children in a lot of ways. They're not looking at it from both sides of the issue. They're only looking at it from a fear-mongering point of view. And I'm really sad with Wikipedia because they're coming across as fear, and they're not coming across as intellectuals. They're not going pros and cons. They're basically saying we're right and everybody's wrong. This is not the intellectual thing I want promoted in the planet. I want people to look, especially from one of the, what is it, the 5th biggest website on the planet, encyclopedia, and they're acting like fearmongers. They're selling fear. And I think the word's demagoguery. It's when you cater to the fears of the person. Okay. When somebody sells fear, when they say all or nothing type things where they're going to do it, this is just a bunch of gossip. Okay. This was final thing. Do I have a right to write a book and somehow have the government of my country protect me from people stealing it so that I can continue to make money on this book? Do I have that right? Because it's a Stop Online Piracy Act. Obviously we don't really care about the big movie theaters because it sounds like they're so rich that it doesn't matter. But it's not really the movie theaters where this starts out. It starts out in the small person. It's not very smart, not really intelligent. They write a really good book, or a college professor just blabbing away, and then he writes a book thinking he's going to make some money, and then finds out that everybody stole it because he did one thing wrong, and boom, he gave it to somebody as smart as me in a way that I could just copy paste it, transform it, put it up on a torrent. Boom! Next thing, everybody's got it, and I can act like I'm clever, and he doesn't make any money. So this is really little people too. This isn't just big people getting hurt. This is little people. And why we want our government to protect us against unfair things? Well, that's Andy. I'm I love these videos because I can kind of talk about kind of complicated issues, and I have to write about it. I really don't want to type it all in, okay? Because it's not going to make me enough money. Nobody really cares enough. But I'd like to just give an opinion, and this is an easy way to do it. Plus, a little harder to steal this from a copyright point of view. They can't just copy and paste it, right? Okay. But they find a way. Andy Hobo Traveler in the Caribbean.